Hello guys, so today I'm gonna make a velocity tutorial and I'm gonna show you guys the different types of velocity I use. So this is a direct sequel to the mark tutorial I made, which is like how to place markers, which are these orange things you see right here. And I'm not gonna cover how to do that because I would rather cover like really important stuff, bruh. So the really important stuff I do want to cover today is I want to cover like different velocity structures. I want to cover how to copy paste velocity structures, and you can only, as far as I know, you can only copy paste velocity structure in Vegas Pro 15 and above. So let me get some clips to put in here. I'm gonna use the same two. I'm probably gonna use like the same clip for all of this, just so I can make it really simple. Alright, so you see, the first thing you want to do is make sure your song has got markers in it. What's the clip that you're using? You have to look at the clip. Okay, this clip is really long. So the way I'm going to break this down, I usually focus on animations. So you see the guy aiming in. You want to press S to split your clip. Make sure the clip's really high frame rate. If not, you want to use like, I'll explain that stuff later, but you want to make sure you've got like your markers down. So this, I'm gonna do pretty sharp velocity on this. First off, the first thing I usually do when I'm doing velocity is I expand this track and make it really large, just so I can get the velocity point. Like, you see how this is like, this is a line, right? Like, this is the speed line. If you want to insert velocity, you can go insert remove envelope velocity, or there's another way to do it. You can make a hotkey for inserting velocity. You want to go to your options, customize keyboard, click global, type in velo, and then find insert envelope event velocity, go to the shortcut keys part, and you want to click, like, I usually use Alt plus V because that's really easy to remember, and you hit Alt plus V and it puts the velo right in for you. So what I usually do to start out is, like, I decide how sharp I want my velo to be. So this song, I'm gonna put the velo all the way up to the top. Actually, yeah. And then I'm gonna add a second point right after it, just so it has a bit of like ramping. Like, if you're doing velocity, you're doing the flow of your edit, which means you want to think of it as like a river, kinda. You want to have the left or the right be very like lopsided. Well, not lopsided, but like you want to accentuate either the left or the right. And you can hold down Alt and click Control. You can hold down Control and click a velo point and drag it to be exact. Sometimes it glitches out and moves up and down a lot. You just have to click it again to get it to work fine. But the way I'm gonna do this is I'm just gonna go down to 7. So I just went like, but honestly the values that you use don't really matter. General rule of thumb is you want to make sure it like looks good. Like, that's an animation right there, and then you want to go right up. And you see how it has like a bunch of frames? You want to make sure the last 2 or 3 frames ramp back up, or you could just have it not ramp up at all. The way I'm gonna do this is give me a second, I think. I'm gonna cut to the second scope in right here, actually. No, this is really sharp velo. I'm gonna do really like flowy, loose velo. What I usually do for this is I peak out at around like 300 to 500, like right around there. And then I go down to like 282. And then from there I just drag this down to about 100. And then I go down to like 14, down to 8. I go back up to like in between 40 and 69. So I usually do like maybe 61, or 60. Like the values don't matter that much, as long as they're really close to the values like I'm saying, and the structure looks good. Like as long as it's got this kind of like U-shaped structure to it, you should be fine. And another trick you could do, if you want to slow down like how fast it's going, you can right click on the clip, go to properties, and you see playback rate. You can lower that to whatever you want. That's too slow in my opinion. You could also speed it up. I think that's too fast, so I like it the way it was. I usually cut my clips with the animation, like the scoping. And you can press S to split. Like, if you can see the animation, like, you're good. And just because I always have 1 frame of scope, that's all you use is like 1 frame of scope if you're editing like Call of Duty point of view. I'm just gonna break it based on the animations, like I said. And I'm gonna split right here. And then there you go. You have a really simple like sequence. You want to make sure you just have the cuts that you want to focus on. That looks good. You can hold shift to select all of these, and then you can click and drag all and bring it all the way to the left. Now what I'm gonna show you guys now is how to copy paste velo structure without affecting the playback rate. Of like the whole video footage, like the footage you're layering it on, and you can only do this in Vegas 15 and Vegas 16. So like, let's say I want to keep doing this structure because I think it looks really good, like the structure itself with the values. You can copy it, or you can hit Control C, which copies the clip. Control V it on top. Hold Control and drag it to be the same length as the one under it. And then you want to right click and click Selectively Paste Event Attributes. This is the secret to how I do all my HCs. Like how I made them so fast. I did all the velo on most of them in like 20 minutes. But just make sure you have all of these options. Make sure Video Event Velocity Envelopes is selected. And you have to notice that you don't want to have Video Event Playback Rate selected, because that's why you can't copy paste velo in other versions of Vegas. So let's say we copy this one, right click, selectively paste event attributes, click OK, and the structure should follow like that. Now, I'm just gonna do the same thing for these really fast. I'll show you why it why it's so swift. Like how fast you can really do this. There's also like a lot of different ways to like make the like that right there. And you can just like ramp more if you want. It's all up to you. Like it's literally like I'm just trying to teach people how to edit better. I don't really care like how y'all use the knowledge. And if you go up to 1,000 at the end, it makes like a really sharp jump that can look nice if you know what you're doing. Like I said, this is all kind of subjective. It's like, if you think it looks good, go for it. And there's other velo structures people do that are like really fucking gnarly. Like you can So from this point, we want to do a player. I'm gonna do a run sim. So I'm gonna put these clips and desk like in the description of this video, by the way. Do that. There's only one death sim on this though. I'm just quickly doing this. I could explain how the only things I'm doing is I'm splitting on the actual animation in the clip. Like, you see how his leg moves right here? Like, I want to reload this part of the clip, so I split both ends with S, and just, I hold my click button, I hold my mouse button, I put it between the markers, and if it doesn't fit, you can hold Control and drag it until it fits between the markers. That's what I've done for basically all of this. And then once you have that, you can basically just go really hard. Because these are all the same length, I really don't even have to do anything to it. I mean, this could look really repetitive. You have to change, if you want to, you can change the VL on every cut. I'm just trying to do this really fast so I can explain it, like, best I can. Trying to get it all set up too, because I'm gonna paste different velo structures on this. Probably. Let me see. I'm gonna go from here, like right here, and then we need to find the scope frame. You always want to have a frame of scope. Like, if there's no scope in the clip, you should find a green screen of the scope and put it on it, just for good measure. Just, yeah, break the animations apart by hitting S on your keyboard, and you can use your left and right arrow keys to go frame by frame. Is that another kill? It's not even a kill, he's just shooting. Alright. So the best course of action with this might be to do something like this. I'm gonna actually just have it be like right here, and then I'm gonna have this part. I'm gonna put separate VLO on these two cuts. That's another thing you can do, is you can really variate the speed with velocity. This honestly doesn't look the best, but it's like, it works because I'm trying to explain VLO anyways. So another different like structure you could use real quick. I'm not gonna copy paste anymore. Another structure you can do is like the 3-point VLO. Like, if you're really new to velocity, you can start with 3-point and then add points. That looks good. You can ramp the end up. That's kind of what Bimjo does with Twixter, if you've watched any of his edits. Like, it's not exactly the same, but it goes in. So this VLO, I'm gonna go from 1000% to 900, really short. Like, I'm gonna zoom in really far, and then I'm gonna go down to like 36, go down to 7. That's the bug I was talking about if you hold Control. That looks kind of scuffed could just go that I like doing the structure the most. This is kind of what I usually do anyways, so. Maybe because this one's so fast, I'm gonna do it really sharp. And I'll do down to 9%. And then I'm gonna copy paste this velo right here for sake of making sure it's good. I might just copy paste the whole thing. This velo structure right here is really nice. I mean, there's a lot of different velo structures you can do. I don't think it's like super deep. You don't have to do set values as long as it follows the U pattern and it's got like bias at least on the right side. If the left side doesn't have much bias, it's fine. Like I feel like a loose left side and a really sharp like end looks really nice. You can also double click and right click and do 20% forward velocity. Right click on the pattern itself, and you can do any of these different options to keyframe it. I usually use fast fade though. Yeah, like. Very powerful move right here. Just gonna flex the animations. That's all I do with velocity, honestly. On anime editing, I might make a separate tutorial on how I do velocity on anime because a lot of people don't know how to do that very well and it's really weird, to say the least. Like, it's hard to explain. This is 22 FPS, so it looks really slow too. This is way too fast, so I'm gonna add a few points. That's what I mean by like bias on one side. That looks likely. Kind of just, you have to fidget with the values until you get something that looks really smooth. I've been using Vegas for a long time, so if you're just starting out and you're new to editing, don't be too discouraged, because once you have something that looks good, you can do that copy paste method I said. But at the same time, the only way for that to work properly is if you split on all of the animations and it's like proper. I'm just kind of making sure this is good to go. You can use right and left arrow keys in Vegas to go frame by frame. I'm gonna give this a kind of transition type thing real fast. Make it feel like it flows better. Yeah. This is how you do the ELO, lads. Hopefully the tricks that I've like told you guys how to do help a lot, because the main thing with velo is you want to make sure that the structure itself is it's literally just the structure of it that matters, because that's what gives it the movement. Like, look at how the speed changes when the values go down. And it goes back up, goes down, goes back up, goes down, and it goes back up right at the end. Bruh. Alrighty guys, so I'll see you in the next tutorial. I'll cover how to do pan crop, and I'll also start getting into sound effects. Then after I do pan crop and sound effects, I'll try to make some tutorials on different effects that I use.